Crime, Wine, and Chaos contains adult language and graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, Chaos Kids. I'm Naomi.
And I'm Amber, and this is Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
Oh my God. Hi, Sissy.
Hi, Sissy. What do you call that phenomenon? Something like a phenomenon. I know there's a word for it where something new comes into your life and then you see it everywhere.
It's like when you get a new car and then when you go driving around, everywhere you look, you see that make and model all over the road.
Okay. That is so weird that you say that because Jeremy got a new car and it's like this weird spaceship car. And I've never heard of that car before in my life. And now I see them everywhere.
Right.
But I don't think I ever used the word chaos ever. And I swear to God, I hear someone use it or I see it once a day.
Well, yeah. You're tuned in now. You're tuned in now.
There's a word for that, though.
Is there? I mean, I'll believe you. Is that a German word? The Germans have the words for everything.
We are doing a double episode. This is a back-to-back recording.
Double recording day.
I'm still reeling from your last crime story. And then this is what happens. No, it's okay. It needed to be told. But the not telling each other our stories, what ends up happening is like, I also have a horrific crime story of some poor woman that was murdered by a fucking douche canoe of a man.
Oh, great.
So that's happening today. So
You know what? Part of what makes this chaotic is that we don't tell each other anything about the stories that we're working on.
No.
We even keep, you guys, I started as a spreadsheet so that we would keep track of everything that we've done so that we would never accidentally do one that's already been done. And we can independently consult this document without speaking to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
it's like last viewed yesterday. I'm like, what is she doing? You know what I was thinking about though, in our 5-minute intermission before one episode to the next is there's a reason why like the Eileen Warnosis or whatever is so what's the word I'm looking for? So
sensational.
Yes.
Televised, talked about, made into movies because it is anomalous. They have shows that are like, what is it? Like When Women Kill, like Piers Morgan loves to do that shit. It's like, it's like we are fascinated by women when they murder because they just don't murder at the rate that men do. They just don't even come fucking close. And actually, most women who murder like serial killer style almost all the time, most of them are like angels of mercy.
Yeah
It's very rare that women are serial killers. Women usually murder out of desperation or for financial security.
I know. I was talking to Michael a few months ago and somebody had said something like, yeah, men get raped too. And Michael was like, yeah, by men.
Yeah.
All that to say that like, oh, weird. I didn't know you were doing a case where a woman got killed by a man. And now I have one of those too. Well, that's fucking all of them. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you know what? Let's just get this party started. Why don't you give me the bummer, Amber? Give me the bummer.
Okay.
I'm
ready.
Gonna give you the bummer.
Ready
for it.
All right. Are you ready? We're going to November of 2011 in Lebanon, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It is a really small community with a few permanent residents. So it butts up against the Red River, which separates Oklahoma and Texas. So just on the other side of the lake or river is Windham, Texas. And this is where 19-year-old Ashleigh Lindsey lives at home with her parents. So Ashleigh's mom, Tara, says that Ashleigh was a singer. She had taught herself how to play piano, and her grandpa taught her how to play guitar.
Oh,
I know.
Love that.
I fucking love that too. Her dream was to be a professional musician. She was taking a break from school and was working full time in the call center for a Verizon store. And call centers.
Call centers.
I remember being that age and thinking that was like a coveted job because it was an office job.
Right.
You know?
Oh, no, there was a time when, 100%. Yes.
No, it's just everyone that's fucking pissed about everything.
All the time. Yeah. Nobody calls to tell you how great a job you're doing.
No.
Hi.
And
Verizon.
Hi. I love my service. Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
No, that's not what's happening.
Okay. So Erica worked for a collection agency for one shift.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone that called said they just lost their dad. Their house just burned down. They just lost and she was like believing everybody. And the supervisor was like, no.
honey.
And she was like, I can't do this.
No, I mean, I couldn't. There's no way. That is one of those jobs I would like. I just like morally could not.
Me either.
Perform. Yeah. No.
Nope. Yeah. And somebody in those, however many 100 calls was telling the truth. But you get so jaded that you're like, whatever, pay up. It's fucking awful. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's working at a Verizon. Ashleigh, she's working at a Verizon call center. How old is she again? I'm sorry.
19.
Okay.
And she lives at home with her mom and stepdad. So Ashleigh's office was on the other side of the river in Oklahoma. And at Verizon is where she made a new friend, Joshua Scott. We're going to call him Scott from this point on because there's another Joshua and it gets confusing. So we're going to just call him Scott.
Oh, right.
He sat in the cubicle next to her. And one night he invites her to a party with several of their other coworkers to his house. So after dinner, she heads on over the river to meet up with her work friends. And one of the guests at this party was John. And John was really good friends with Scott. And John was there with his girlfriend, Heather Laura. So Heather and Ashleigh instantly hit it off. And
I love that. I love that when that happens. Yes.
I do too. It's so hard to make new friends once you are not in school anymore. Yeah, and then you go to a party or a gathering
or something, and there's like another woman there, and you guys just click, and it's so awesome. Yes.
And this woman, man, she really rises to the title of friend. We'll get to that. So, also at the party is 28-year-old Josh Mahaffey, who was Scott's roommate.
Okay. And so this is at Josh and Josh's apartment.
Correct. At their house. I don't know if it's an apartment or a home, but yeah.
Okay.
So Josh and Ashleigh hit it off and the two start dating. Ashleigh later learned that as a child, Joshua was hit in the head with a metal pipe.
Uh-oh. TBI.
Do you know that $2 for every traffic infraction goes to a TBI fund?
Where? Everywhere?
In Washington.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
TBI is traumatic brain injury for those that don't know what we're talking about.
Not TMI, although that too.
Okay, so hit in the head with a metal pipe as a child. Okay, great.
Yeah, and this was severe enough that he had to relearn how to walk and talk. And
oh my God.
I know.
Like a real TBI.
Not like them fake TBI.
No, I mean, like this is a serious injury. Like, knocked the memory of how to use his own body right out of his head.
I could go through life playing a TBI card for all kinds of things. Sorry, I can't help it. TBI. Yeah.
I mean,
this is a real TBI. So he tells Ashleigh that also because of this, he suffers from seizures. And Ashleigh is just really kind-hearted and caring. So she reassures him that it's not going to make a difference to her. Like she cares about him. She's into him. She's like, we'll figure it out.
Right.
So she continues to see Josh for the next several weeks. And eventually she brings him home for Thanksgiving to meet her family.
Oh.
Yeah. And her mom, Tara, said that Josh was friendly, but that something felt off about him.
Well, yeah, he has a TBI.
Well, no, this is called being a woman on the planet for more than 19 years. And when your spidey senses kick in.
Fair enough. Yeah, for sure.
Listen to those spidey senses.
Look, and I'm I've been, we've been joking or whatever, but TBIs are no fucking joke. And in fact, they are often the reason why like people become violent and unpredictable. And it's why, so many, for example, NFL players end up beating their wives and their girlfriends because their brains are seriously injured.
Or that wrestler whose name escapes me now.
Benoit.
Okay, so it was like a
Benoit
homicide suicide situation. Okay, so total sidebar. This is kind of like would you rather, but not really. But Michael and I went into this deep conversation the other night because this is what we do about what to do if your partner, say, like becomes paraplegic and like all these kinds of things, right?
Right.
So what would you do if your partner had a TBI and like violent outbursts?
I mean, I hear what you're saying because the question
like,
really
is there
becomes
compassion or
the question's about like at what point does their physical health become something you won't put up with or deal with or have, right? Like, because if it wasn't a brain injury and there wasn't this major personality shift towards violence and it was, like they lost the use of their legs, you would be an asshole if you left them for that.
Yeah. Or they had cancer. You would be an asshole.
Yes.
You know,
but I also think like your safety is also important. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, putting on your own mask before you put it on for somebody else. If you're not safe, if you're not well, if you're not in a good place that's healthy for you, then that's the first thing that matters.
Yeah. It's so sad because, in some ways, like he can't help it, It starts with a C. What's the word for that? There seriously is no cure. And it's it's not TBI. It's what football players have. It starts with a C. The name is escaping me.
I can't remember.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I'll look that up too and put it in the show notes. Okay. So Tara's like, I don't like this guy's vibe. But Ashleigh was 19 and there wasn't much that she could do except just kind of keep a watchful eye and try and be supportive. Right.
Yeah. We know about that.
Yep. Most of the time, these things work themselves out. They'll see the light eventually.
Yeah.
So Scott and Joshua's house was an hour and a half away from Ashleigh's parents' house over the river. And her friend Heather said that Josh and Scott had a strange relationship. So at this point, Ashleigh, she has moved in with Josh and Scott.
Oh.
By December, she's moved in.
That's like within a couple months?
They started dating in November. She's moved in by December.
Oh, it's like that.
And so she's an hour and a half away from mom, and the Joshes have this weird relationship.
Okay.
So Scott very clearly wanted to emulate Josh, and anything that Josh had, Scott wanted.
Uh-oh.
And on top of that, Josh's mom, Amanda, seemed like she despised Ashleigh, and Ashleigh wasn't sure why. It's very weird.
Okay. This is that thing where this is one of those weird moms of boys who think that they're the most important woman in their life. And so like no other woman that comes along is ever good enough. And this is a thing.
Who does that fucking... Oh, I know.
This is a thing.
Oh, I know. I share a son with somebody where this is a fucking thing, and it's weird.
It's weird.
Yes. It's also weird how obviously Scott and mom are weirdly like idolizing Josh.
Yeah.
So she's bummed out because this is her partner and she wants mom to like her. And Ashleigh and her mom are extremely close and they talk every day. And Tara said that Ashleigh shared with her that she really wished that she could connect with Josh's mom, but she wasn't sure how. And Josh also seemed to really worship his mom.
There are so many flags on the play here.
Okay, I have a sidebar that has nothing to do with anything, but I wanted to share it with you. But
great.
It could be the thing too that like if you have a kid that was seriously injured that you almost maybe lost, I can imagine being more protective of them than you would be otherwise, you know?
Yes.
I'm just
I'm
throwing,
also
not that
thinking of that woman you used to work with and that weird relationship she had with her teenage son.
she still had her teenage son sleeping in the bed with her and they would snuggle.
Yeah. What'd she call him? Her baby boy?
That's how the joke started. That's why I call Spencer
I know.
Uh-huh.
But remember the story I told you about the New Year's Eve massacre and Scott Kalogi shooting his whole family? He still slept with his parents every night. And he was like 16 years old.
I know. Okay.
More flags on the plate. There's just flags everywhere. There are red flags everywhere.
Okay. This just reminded me, like, talking about childhood trauma. This is a quick aside that has nothing to do with this. But today at work, I listened to an interview with Matthew Perry, because, you know, his new book is out. He's trending right now. The one where he twice lamented that Keanu Reeves still walks the earth, but we lost River Phoenix. Yeah. But what he said in there when he was talking about his addiction, and he cited a study that I want to go and look at, not that it's going to do me any good or any favors, but that one of the things that he thinks changed his brain makeup and made him more susceptible to addiction was being given phenobarbital as a baby.
Phenobarbital.
Yes. That's a big fucking no-no now. And like they're now understanding like the long-term effects of that. I think there was a study done. I want to go back. I want to go and I know. I'm just going to cite that as like fucking TBI. I get a pass. Whatever I do from this point on.
Phenobarbital is no longer like a joke against Amber. It is Amber's like get out of jail free card. Like phenobarbital. Can't blame me.
That is literally what the Heaven's Gate cult used for their mass suicide.
I know.
Okay. So anyway, Ashleigh and her mom are super close. She's like, I want my partner's mom to like me, but she doesn't, and I don't know why. And Ashleigh tries to talk to Josh about how his mom is making her feel, and he doesn't believe her. And he accuses Ashleigh of bad-mouthing his mom to her mom. No. And he completely loses his shit on her. And he pushes her and calls her names. And then afterwards...
Now I'm getting mad.
He blames his behavior on his seizure disorder and tells her how sorry he is.
No.
And Ashleigh is committed to staying with him and being patient with his disorder, and she accepts his apology.
Cannot.
I know. So then in March, they're at a family function with Ashleigh's family when Josh proposes.
Oh, no.
And Ashleigh's mom said that she's watching the proposal and she's like screaming on the inside, but she's like, yay.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I cannot.
And then a few weeks after the engagement, Ashleigh finds out that she's pregnant.
Of course she is.
Okay. I know. So at this time, Ashleigh's still working at the Verizon call center. And one day, shortly after finding out she was pregnant, she gets called into her boss's office. And apparently, because of all of Josh's seizure episodes, there's been multiple times when Ashleigh was either extremely late for work or didn't show up at all. And they also show her a call log showing that Josh had called her at work more than 100 times just in the past few weeks.
Oh, my God.
And she tries to explain the situation to them, but basically they've had enough of it, and Ashleigh gets fired.
Oh, no.
So she packs up her desk and goes out to her car in the parking lot and sees that someone has smashed in her windshield.
What?
I know, this poor girl. It's just like one thing after another. So she tries to call Josh to come and get her, but she can't get a hold of him. So she calls Heather, and Heather comes and gets her. And by the time Heather drops Ashleigh off at home, Josh is there, and Ashleigh explains to him what happened. And she tells Josh that Scott has been really cold and distant with her ever since the two got engaged. And she asks Josh if he thinks that Scott could be the one responsible for her windshield. And this makes Josh fucking lose it. He says that Scott is like a brother to him, and he warns Ashleigh to never talk about him like that again. And then he physically assaults her.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, but is this a condition of a TBI where you're just triggered real easily into a rage? Is that how it works?
I mean, I really think that it's like not all TBIs are created equal, right? I really think it depends on what area of the brain is damaged.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, he seems to have a fucking rage
damaged.
problem.
Yeah, he's damaged.
Mm-hmm. So it was after this incident that Ashleigh moved back home with her parents.
Oh, good.
And while she was at her parents', Josh would continue to send Scott over there to try to convince Ashleigh to give him another chance.
What?
These two are like thick as thieves, these two.
It's
besties.
still so weird, though. Why is Scott going over to... oh, my God. How old are these two? How old are the two Joshes?
They're like 28.
Okay.
There's quite the age gap too, which is also
yeah, it's like almost
just adds to the power
almost a
struggle.
Decade, yeah.
So Scott tells Ashleigh that Josh's illness is the only reason that he physically attacked her, and that otherwise that is not something he would ever do. And Ashleigh desperately wanted a family and for Josh to be in their child's life, so she agrees to go back to Josh if he agrees to get medical help for his issue.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything that they can do for that, but
I don't know, except like put him on benzos so he's just like all the time and doesn't have the energy to be angry. Take a Klonopin, go to sleep.
Yeah, calm down. Night, sweet boy. So when Josh's mom finds out that he is seeking medical help, she's fucking pissed. And she says that maybe if Ashleigh wasn't so damn mouthy, he wouldn't have hit her.
Oh my God, his mom said that? Women support patriarchy too.
Yep, she's a fucking psycho. So Ashleigh eventually moves back in with Josh and Scott. And again, she tries to talk to Josh about how his mom is treating her. And again, he gets pissed and he physically assaults Ashleigh.
Okay. Does Tara know about these physical assaults?
A little bit. Yes. Yeah. I think that, that thing where you have a shitty boyfriend, but you're young and you don't want to like air your dirty laundry because you're not positive that it's really, really over, and you don't want people to forever hate your partner when you decide to get back together.
Yes.
That's such a hard thing to navigate through. Even as an adult, that's a hard thing to navigate through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I tell you this thing that my partner did, you will never like them again. So I'm just going to keep that to myself. So at this point, Ashleigh has had enough, and she said that she is leaving. And as she tries to go out the door, Josh grabs her, drags her into the bedroom, ties her to the bed, rapes her.
Oh my God.
And then leaves her alone in the home for 2 days.
Oh my God. Tied to the bed.
Yeah. On day 3, Scott comes home and Ashleigh's like, "Oh, thank God. Please help me."
He does not help her.
Nope. He has aligned himself with Josh and he's like, "Sorry about it." Yeah. So a short while later, Josh gets home, and now both Josh and Scott are there with Ashleigh being held captive. And Josh tells Ashleigh that him and Scott have to leave for a bit to run some errands. And it's during this time that Ashleigh is able to escape.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So when Josh and Scott get back, they find a note from Ashleigh that says that she is leaving and not to look for her at her parents' house because she isn't there. And in fact, shortly after getting home, Tara calls the house looking for Ashleigh, and Josh tells her that Ashleigh isn't there and that he doesn't know where she is. So Tara's hopeful that Ashleigh has finally left Josh, but she's also scared because she doesn't know where she is.
Well, right, because wouldn't she go home?
No, because he had previously said that like he had made so many other threats, I couldn't include them all in here, that he would kill her family. And so she didn't go home. She went somewhere
to Heather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So 48 hours go by and Tara still hasn't heard from Ashleigh. So she calls the police and files a missing persons report. But just after filing the report, Ashleigh calls her mom. She says that she's been hiding at a friend's house, but that she is okay. So she goes and meets her mom at the police station so that she can file a protection order against Josh. And when Ashleigh provides the information to the officer, she finds out that Josh has been married 3 other times and he has had several domestic violence charges filed against him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And as they're sitting at the station doing the paperwork, Josh calls Ashleigh's phone and the officer tells her to put it on speaker. And Josh goes on to tell Ashleigh that he is going to kill her and her entire family. Yeah. This guy.
Whoa.
Uh-huh. So a warrant is issued for his arrest, but before police can get to him, he leaves town. And they advise Ashleigh to be very cautious and to go into hiding until they're able to find him.
Oh my God.
I know. So after several weeks of Josh still not being located, they advise Ashleigh that she should leave town.
Oh, okay. Okay. So she's a victim. She's the one in danger. She needs to uproot her fucking life.
This is how it always goes.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing they can do.
Mm-mm.
You have a you were born with boobs. Sorry about it, as Amber would say.
Figure it out. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Ashleigh and her mom make arrangements for Ashleigh to go to a safe shelter. So she's at her friend Heather's house, and Heather's boyfriend John is going to drive her to this shelter. And just as they're headed out the door, Josh pushes his way through the front door of Heather's house.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. And he chases Ashleigh upstairs. And from downstairs, Heather and John hear 3 gunshots.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. And right after the shots are fired, Scott comes through Heather's front door.
How does he even have a gun with that many domestic violence charges on his record?
That's a great fucking question. That's a great question. Oh, but we'll get to that. So Scott comes through the door and he takes Heather's phone from her because she's trying to call 911 and he is refusing to let her call. And she keeps telling him that they need to call for help for Ashleigh. And Scott's like, no, we're not doing that. Then she says that they need to call for help for Josh because there was 3 gunshots that she heard. And this seems to work.
Oh my
for Scott.
God, are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-mm. So Heather, she's such a fucking badass. As Scott hands her phone back, at the same time that she's getting her phone, she's able to shove him out the door and close it and lock it.
Fuck yeah, she is. Oh my God. I love that so much. Get the fuck out.
Get out of my house. Yeah.
And let the door hit you. Let it hit you on the way out.
She's such a badass. So what a good friend that she made, right? So meanwhile, Tara is still waiting for the call from Ashleigh saying that she's arrived at the safe shelter. And so when she doesn't get that call, she knows that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So she calls Ashleigh's cell phone and Heather's boyfriend, John, answers. And he tells Tara that he is with Ashleigh, that she has been shot, and that Josh has shot himself. Mm-hmm. So Tara asks, this is so fucking sad, asks John to put her on speaker so that Ashleigh can hear her voice while she drives to the hospital to meet the ambulance. It's so sad. I know. So Tara gets to the hospital. Ashleigh's in the hospital. The police are investigating Heather's house, and Scott is on the run. So while the police are in Heather's home, Scott calls and agrees to turn himself in. And at the hospital, Tara learns that Ashleigh was stable at the moment, but doctors tell her to prepare herself because Ashleigh has been shot twice, once in the shoulder and once in the face.
Oh, no.
I know. Because this is so fucking sad. Because of the massive blood loss, the baby doesn't make it.
Yeah.
And Tara believes that Ashleigh is holding on for her baby. So she tells Ashleigh, like, you know, the baby is gone. It's okay. You can let go if you need to let go. I know. And then Ashleigh passes away. I know. I am sorry. This is terrible. I am sorry.
It's okay. It's turnabout is fair play, sister.
I don't want fair play. If this is what fair play looks like, I'm not interested.
It's okay.
Last episode,
just let me grab
I was
tissue.
nauseous. This episode, you're crying.
I'm crying a lot.
Start a true crime podcast. It'll be fun.
Oh my God.
This is fun. Oh my God.
Okay. Okay.
So police are finally able to talk to Scott, and they learn that Josh was hiding out at his mom's house, and he was in need of a car because all he was saying was that he needed to be with Ashleigh. He couldn't lose her, blah, blah, blah. So Scott and Josh together killed mom's boyfriend and took the car. And
What?
I presume that this is where they got the gun. Uh-huh.
They got the gun from his mom's boyfriend.
Yes. And Josh knew that Ashleigh was likely hiding out at Heather's house, so the two drive there the morning after killing mom's boyfriend.
I don't even have words for this.
I don't either. I don't fucking either. So Josh is dead, obviously. He took his own life, and Ashleigh has passed. Scott ended up receiving 3 life sentences, 1 for mom's boyfriend, 1 for Ashleigh, and 1 for her unborn baby. And Josh's mom was charged with harboring a fugitive.
Wow.
I know. Yeah. I know. What is with this Josh person that his mom is obsessed with him? His roommate is obsessed with him. Like,
he kills her boyfriend and she's still like,
go find your girl that I hate. I don't know. There's some weird fucking Freudian shit going on there. I'm not really
seriously
sure.
She hates this woman who's marrying her son and having her grandbaby, but she enables him to go, and
I don't know. And Scott is game for anything that Josh needs. It is
this is one of those things where like 2 fucking crazy people, like psychopaths, like find each other again.
Well, one, I'm impressed with Oklahoma for handing down a murder charge when Scott pulled no triggers. And 2, I think it's, I don't know, sweet, sweet irony or justice that Scott literally ended up taking it fucking hard for everything that Josh did.
That's crazy.
He took all 3 of his life sentences. I don't know if that's fair or not fair. I don't know. But
none of it's fair. There's nothing fair about anything in this story. There is no fair here. Because fair would be Ashleigh just got away and lived her fucking life.
The thing that was so fucking frustrating about this is that she was minutes away from getting away.
Yes.
She was there.
I mean, that is the most dangerous time.
I know.
That is the most dangerous time.
Heather, what a good friend.
Oh, she's the hero in this one.
She is.
Oh my God, sister. You made me sob this time. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Okay, look, I haven't had a period in like 5 weeks. I'm like 2 weeks late and I've had cramps for the last 2 days. So there is some hormonal shit going on here too.
It's got to come out somewhere. It's coming out your eyes.
It's got to come out. Yes, it's coming out my eyes. I'm not bleeding from my eyes, just to make sure everybody understands.
Okay, if you were, I think you would need some medical attention. And luckily I can see you.
Either that or you should look up because Jesus is returning or something. I don't know. I don't know what the signs are.
Sure. Oh, man.
Wow, sister. Okay, well. Let me just... reorient here. Jesus.
I am sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. If, as you said, if Ashleigh had to go through it, I can hear it.
Okay.
How about some chaos?
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. So today I'm going to tell you about the Phantom of Heilbronn. Do you know this story?
No.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because we were talking about this very thing today in this episode. This notion that we know that women do not kill anywhere near the rate that men do. Even less likely do they become serial killers, right? We know of some. Often they are angels of mercy. Angels of mercy. Anyway, nurses and caregivers who kill their patients, right? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Well, for a period of time in Germany, the police were on the hunt for one such anomaly. A woman serial killer dubbed the Phantom of Heilbronn, or also referred to as the woman without a face.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fucking spooky.
Spooky. The origins of this mystery start all the way back in May of 1993. When the neighbor of Lieselotte Schlenger, a 62-year-old woman residing in Eder Oberstein, knocked on her door and got no answer, they phoned the police. I'm presuming for a wellness check. Mm-hmm. When the police arrived, they found Lieselotte dead.
Oh.
Strangled, in fact, by a strand of wire taken from a bouquet of flowers in her sitting room.
Oh, shit. That's ominous.
Yeah. The only clue they had was the DNA. There were dozens of potential witnesses interviewed, but nothing suspicious was seen or heard by any of them. And Lieselotte's case would go cold with nothing left but the DNA collected at the scene on the rim of a brightly painted teacup.
Oh.
And the only information that DNA could give them was that the killer was female.
Shit, like she had her bestie over for a spot of tea.
I mean, right?
Oh, God. I don't love that. Okay.
At this point, they could only hope this murderer would be arrested, hopefully for a lesser crime, and her DNA would land in their system and give them the match that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
8 years later, in Freiburg, in the far southwestern corner of Germany, a 61-year-old antiques dealer was found dead, strangled, just like Lieselotte. The DNA collected at the scene was a perfect match for the Eder Oberstein murder.
Oh my God. Also, what if it's like a fucked, I mean, I know it's 1993, but like, well, we hope you do this again so that we can figure out.
Well, they weren't hoping that she would murder. Yeah, they were hoping that she would get picked up on another crime so her DNA would end up in the database.
Yeah, totally.
So 5 months later, a very distraught woman turned over to police a used heroin syringe that she had found on a playground in the town of Gerolstein, not far from the border with Belgium. The lab results would show DNA on the syringe belonging to the mysterious murderer that was eluding authorities.
What the fuck? Also weird that it would be standard practice to run a DNA test on a syringe.
On a syringe?
Okay.
I don't know, man. Germany. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay.
2 weeks later, on the night of October 24th, 2001, a van was burgled on the outskirts of Mainz, not far from Bad Kreuznach. DNA taken from an abandoned biscuit outside matched the woman without a face.
Are you talking about an actual biscuit, like bread?
I think so, unless they
an
use
abandoned biscuit.
Unless they use biscuit the way that the Brits do to mean cookie.
Okay, but we're talking about food.
Yes.
An abandoned biscuit.
Yeah, just outside the van. DNA from the woman without a face was on the biscuit.
Okay.
Yep. On New Year's Day in 2003, so this was 2 years later, there was a break-in at an office in Dietzenbach, 7 miles outside of Frankfurt. Her DNA was there too. In December 2003, a car was stolen in Heilbronn. It was later abandoned, and when it was tested, her DNA was found on the petrol cap.
Okay. I need a pause. My brain is running on overtime here. Okay, so this faceless biscuit eater dabbles in murder, drug use, car theft, and burglary.
Mm-hmm.
Or she has an identical twin, triplet. Like, what are we? We are everywhere. We're eating biscuits. We're shooting up. We're stealing cars. We're having a spot of tea and killing our. What are we doing? Okay. All right.
It's the Phantom.
Fuck. Okay.
In Karlsruhe in 2005, so 2 years after the abandoned car, there was a late night robbery at a bar, and her DNA was found on 2 beer bottles and an empty wine glass.
Okay.
On the afternoon of May 6, 2005, she or traces of her reappeared much closer to Bad Kreuznach at an attempted murder in the cathedral city of Worms. A member of the local travelers community turned a pistol on his brother, and police promptly arrested the gunman, only to find after forensic checks in Wiesbaden that the mystery woman's DNA was on one of the bullets.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this shitty DNA testing because it's 1993?
No, I mean, this was 2005.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm just trying.
So at this point, yeah. So the following year, across the French border in Besançon, it turned up again on a toy pistol used in a robbery. And it turned up too in nearly a dozen break-ins at shops and offices and several car thefts in Austria.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At some of the crime scenes, the genetic print of presumed accomplices was also found, though according to one of the police officers in Germany, it was never the same ones. At least 3 men have been arrested from Slovakia, Serbia, and Moldova. But again, if they know anything about the Phantom of Heilbronn, they weren't talking.
Holy shit.
This confounding case of the unknown woman connected with so many crimes, including 2 murders, was mostly under the radar, kept in circles within German police departments. That is, until April of 2007, when Michelle Kiesewetter, a 22-year-old policewoman from an elite drugs squad, was taking a lunch break with a colleague in their patrol car in Heilbronn. 2 people climbed into the back seat and shot the officers from behind, killing the woman and seriously injuring her 25-year-old partner.
Holy shit.
The assailants struck so quickly, their victims had not even drawn their weapons.
Oh my God.
The country of Germany was shocked and moved by this policewoman's murder, and it also sparked one of the biggest criminal investigations in German history.
Shit.
The only clue was microscopic traces of DNA found on the center console and the rear passenger seat of the BMW. And when the samples were finally fully secured, tested, and compared with Germany's central crime database nearly 3 months later, there was an extraordinary match from 2 quite different murder scenes stretching back a decade and a half. It was the Phantom of Heilbronn, the woman without a face. her DNA at a third murder.
Jesus Christ.
In fact, this would be the case that caused the media frenzy that spawned her Phantom of Heilbronn moniker. Because this happened in Heilbronn. The police in the town of Bad Kreuznach would investigate this case with all the resources they could throw at it, even though they wouldn't be the only ones, because it was here at the headquarters of the prosecutor's office of the state of Rhineland-Pfalz that Pfalz, I don't know if I spelled that right or said it right. I apologize to our German listeners, that the whole thing began on the rim of a brightly painted teacup.
Oh my God. This is wild.
More than 100 police and prosecutors in 3 separate teams across Germany, backed by DNA analysis from the BKA in Wiesbaden, which is Germany's equivalent of the FBI, and by officers in Austria and France, would all become involved in an increasingly frantic effort to find this woman.
No shit.
Because you see, the more the police probed, the more matches they turned up. Not only with a string of further crimes across southern Germany, but as the DNA call went out across Europe, with nearly a dozen break-ins and vehicle thefts across the border in Austria and France.
She is fucking everywhere doing everything. This is wild.
Earlier in 2006, eyewitnesses reported to have seen a man at the scene of an attempted break-in at a flat in Saarbrücken, another German city. And at the crime scene, police found traces of the Phantom's DNA on a stone.
Oh my God.
A police spokesperson said, quote, "We can't rule out that our suspect is a man now or that she looks like a man. We just don't know. This is a unique case. We have 30 crime scenes where we have found traces of her DNA, but we have no face. It's a huge mystery, and it's incredible that the suspect has managed to hide herself for so long." End quote. The cop killing would not be the last of her crimes. In 2009, her DNA was found in the room of a fishing lodge in a little town called Saarholzbach in Saarland, near the Luxembourg border. Someone came in at night and sneaked up behind the woman who was in charge of the cleaning staff, struck her hard on the back of the head, stole 300 euros, and left.
Wow, fuck.
That same year, her DNA signature turned up when the corpses of 3 Georgian car dealers were trawled from a river near Heppenheim, south of Frankfurt. 2 men were jailed for the killing, an Iraqi and a Somali. In the Iraqi suspect's battered old Ford, forensic officers found traces of the same DNA found in the police car in Heilbronn. But the Iraqi suspect had nothing to say about her.
What the fuck is going on? I hope you don't leave me fucking hanging with this. I am so perplexed. I need to know.
Police were doing everything they could to identify this woman. The crimes themselves and what little they could glean from her DNA painted a bit of a picture, albeit one that was still very fuzzy. The syringe suggests drug use. The apparent randomness of the break-ins, the small amounts often taken, point to targets of opportunity and a desperate need for cash. The fact that many of the crime scenes have been in or around Bad Kreuznach suggests that the woman without a face is still in southern Germany, still nearby. But the geographical range of some of the crimes, the bizarre links with the murdered Georgians, and the bullet used in the travelers' feud in Worms have convinced the police that she may have ties with one of the loosely linked groups and communities who move back and forth across Europe's often symbolic borders.
Okay.
Police collected DNA samples from almost 3,000 homeless women, female drug users, and women with serious crimes on their record, but no matches popped up.
Fuck.
Another aspect that was hindering German authorities are Germany's laws on what can be learned from DNA samples in this case, laws that are much more restricting than most other countries. It should be obvious that the Holocaust And Hitler's obsession with a blue-eyed, blonde-haired master race would inform to this day what German authorities can do with their citizens' DNA.
That is so fucking interesting. I was going to ask you just that because in my case, 2 episodes ago, they ran the DNA and they were like, great, this person is Italian from this village. And I'm wondering, they can't do that in Germany because of the Holocaust. That sounds like the right move, but
I mean, yeah. So only the full details of individuals convicted of serious crime can be added to the database.
Gotcha. That sounds fair.
And since there had yet been a match in that data set with the woman without a face, she clearly had no criminal record. Also off limits to the German police are race, ethnicity, and eye or hair color.
Interesting.
So no physical description can be provided to them of the Phantom of Heilbronn.
It all comes back to the fucking Nazis.
It always goes back to the Nazis.
Yeah, always. Here we are again.
With all this media coverage after the killing of a cop, there was no end to the public speculation on who this elusive phantom could be. Was she a part of the travelers community? A criminal mastermind? Maybe she isn't even alive and some other criminal is leaving her DNA behind as a red herring.
Oh.
Over the course of the investigation, the woman without a face was tied to at least 40 crimes.
Shit.
The Bad Kreuznach police were absolutely confounded, but infinitely determined to catch this woman. But then later in 2009, French authorities were trying to identify the remains of a charred corpse that had been found 7 years earlier. They knew the corpse belonged to a male asylum seeker. But fingerprint testing turned up the DNA of the Phantom of Heilbronn.
What?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
A second test was run, and her DNA didn't show up this time.
I'm sorry. What is going on?
Well, that's when it finally clicked. The DNA had been on the cotton swabs all along. It turns out that a completely innocent woman working in a factory packaging cotton swabs had been leaving her DNA on them. While all
the swabs that they're using to collect the DNA?
Yes.
And
while the swabs had all been sterilized to remove bacteria, the sterilization process did not destroy DNA. The packaging facility belonged to the Boom Kunststofftechnik company, who had a contract with Greiner Bio 1, a major supplier of cotton swabs to forensic labs around Germany.
Oh my God.
Curiously, labs in the state of Bavaria itself used a different supplier, and the Phantom had never decided to strike there.
Right. Oh my God. I feel like I'm on candid camera right now. Keep going.
As for the case that brought this whole thing into the public sphere, Michelle Kiesewetters' killers were found in 2011. 2 neo-Nazis who were part of the group National Socialist Underground took their own lives after a botched bank robbery, and police found Kiesewetters' gun among their belongings. The duo had murdered 9 other people before her.
So these were the other male DNAs that they thought were the Phantom's accomplices?
No, these were the people that murdered the cop.
No, I know, but didn't they find another DNA sample on some of these cotton swabs? And
I mean, in some of the cases they did, not in this particular case.
Okay. Oh my God.
As a consequence of this severe case of contamination with human DNA and a series of forensic investigations, the International Organization for Standardization, the ISO, published a standard in 2016 to define the requirements for producing consumables free of human DNA contamination, designated for collecting biological evidence at crime scenes. Quote, minimizing the risk of human DNA contamination in products used to collect, store, and analyze biological material for forensic purposes.
Oh my God.
And nowadays,
no shit.
And nowadays, the German police only order swabs which have been sterilized with ethylene oxide, which scrubs off all biological material.
Oh my God, sister.
And
that was fucking brilliant.
Story of the Phantom of Heilbronn.
Also, can you imagine being this poor fucking worker that for over a decade, you're the faceless phantom and all you're doing is putting your fucking cotton balls into a package? Are you kidding me right now? That is the most brilliant and stupid thing that I've ever heard. And my brain doesn't like the dichotomy that's happening right now.
Well, you want to know what's so funny is that I was like, okay, I want to go find a story in Germany because we have listeners in Germany. I would like to give them a tale. And so I went looking for crimes in Germany and I landed on this article from the Guardian, I think. It's in my notes. And it's this really long story and it is written in early 2009 before this discovery. And it is talking about the Phantom of Heilbronn and how the police are desperate to figure out who this woman is. And it's this very serious story about this Germany's most infamous female serial killer. And I thought, that's so funny. I thought my brain actually went, there's a story out there about, I had heard in passing a story about some poor woman in a cotton swab factory or a lab tech or somebody who had been getting her DNA like confused in murder cases for like a really long time before they figured it out. And then when I went looking for that as a possible chaos story, it turns out that the story I landed on of the Phantom of Heilbronn was that story.
Weird.
Yes, it was also weird.
This is all very spooky. I don't like it.
But I mean, we're talking like 16 years this was going on.
No. Oh my God. Also, good for you for job longevity.
Right? She worked in that factory for like 16 years.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
Wow. I hope they have a good pension plan because what the fuck?
Right?
Wow, sister. That was brilliant.
You were on the ride. You went on that ride with me.
I did. I was like, she's doing everything. She's doing every crime. Is she Batman? I kind of worship her right now. What the fuck?
Right?
Oh,
She's
my God.
She's an international woman of mystery.
I almost said, like, yeah, see, this is what it looks like when women commit crimes. Nope. She's just putting cotton balls into a bag.
She's just...
Still. Oh my God. Well, wow. That was fucking wild. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Do you have anything for the good of the order, sis?
No, that was fucking plenty. Thank you. Follow us on all the socials. Go check out my band Tinfoil Top Hat.
Tinfoil Top Hat rocks.
I've had so much wine. Go check out Naomi on Twitter at Misnomers.
Yes.
GNOMERS.
That's right. MIS is GNOMERS. And go to the, app where you listen to us on the podcast and like give us a 5-star rating or, leave us a love note on Apple Podcasts and let other people know about what we're doing over here so that you can get your friends to cry and be angry and, go on this chaotic ride with us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun ride sometimes.
It is a fun ride. It's also very often
fucking
chaotic.
Bye.
Bye.
Crime, Wine, and Chaos is produced by 8th Direction Records. Artwork by Joshua M. Davis. Music by Paul Abner. If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/crime, wine, and chaos. Cheers. Something like a phenomenon.
Well, yeah, he has a TBI.